G'day. I thought I'd do a quick little video on anchoring. I get a lot of people ask me, how do I get my anchor to hold and not let go? Because a lot of people seem to struggle with it. Anchoring is actually, there's a bit of an art to it, but mostly it's pretty simple. It just comes down to a couple of main things. Probably the most important thing is chain. You need as much chain as you can get. The longer the length of your chain, the more it's going to lay flat on the bottom and your anchor's going to lay flat and it's going to hold. If your chain is looping up towards the surface and pulling from a more vertical angle, the anchor is going to be pulling from a more vertical angle, and it's more likely that it's going to skip out, go back in, skip out, go back in. Or if you've got the old reef style prongs, the prongs are going to straighten out. The more vertical the pull, the more tension there is on the anchor. If you've got a lot more chain laying flat along the bottom, it's more of a horizontal kind of pull, and your anchor's got a lot better chance of staying in the sand or the reef, wherever you're anchoring on. The second most important thing with anchoring is scope. By scope, I'm talking about how much rope you let out. How much rope you let out is very important to how that chain is going to lay down on the bottom. So the recommended scope is 3-to-1. So you basically want 3 times as deep as what you're fishing in or parking in. You can go more than that. 3-to-1 up to 5-to-1 is even better if it's rough or it's very windy. The more rope you've got out, the much better chance you've got of your anchor chain laying flat along the bottom and your anchor having more of a horizontal pull than a vertical pull, and it will hold a whole lot better. So the other most important thing with anchors is, don't just grab your anchor, your chain, everything, and just throw it overboard. Anchors need to be fed down. You need to lay the anchor. So let the anchor down and then slowly let it down so your chain follows it down and then lays itself out along the bottom. If that anchor doesn't lay out properly, it's never going to grab. If you just grab it all in a big ball and throw it over, it's going to tangle up, it's going to wrap around itself, it's not going to grab, and it's just going to drag along. I fish with a boomer anchor. You guys have probably all seen that if you watch my videos. The boomer anchor is the best anchor I've used so far. It's amazing. As a reef anchor, it's got a shear pin, so if it gets really stuck, just the force of the boat lifting will shear that pin and the anchor comes out and it can't get stuck. But it also works amazingly well in sand, and yeah, just the best all-round anchor that I've used so far. Luckily, I've got a winch as well, so that makes feeding the anchor down and laying the anchor out a whole lot better, because I can't just let it all out in one go. It'll only go down at the speed of the winch and it'll lay it all out nice and flat. So what I'm going to do is I'll pull forward here where I am. I'm just tucked in on the beach here somewhere nice and calm for now, and I'm going to lay down my anchor and I'll just show you how I do it. So I pull up slowly where I want to anchor. So I'm going to drop the anchor down. I've got 8 meters of chain on mine, so I've got as much chain as I can get. Again, I've got a winch, so it makes it a whole lot easier to pull it up. If you pull it up by hand, 8 meters might be pretty heavy. So I'm feeding it out until the rope stops. I'm sitting in 4 meters of water here, so it's not really going to take much, rope. So I'm feeding it out. I'll wait till the wind starts to pull. So basically what's happening now is the anchor's pulling backwards, the boat's pulling the chain, it's laying that chain flat, and that anchor, I'm saying, is as good as grabbed. But now it's grabbed. I can feel the boat. You can see the boat starting to swing now with the wind. The boat has swung with the wind. That anchor has grabbed. Now it's grabbed, I'm going to let out a whole heap more rope as well, just to give it that extra scope and make sure that lays out there nice and flat. So there you go, I'm just giving it more rope. And again, I'll feel that anchor bite. The anchor's bitten, the boat swings with the wind, and I'm anchored and I'm happy. I'm not going anywhere. I'd be happy to camp here overnight and stay here and be happy the anchor's not going anywhere. One of the other issues that people have with anchoring is actually trying to anchor on an exact spot. That can be quite tricky. It depends very much on the currents, the wind, the size and shape of your boat, how it catches the wind. There's a lot of the swell can push your boat in. There's a lot of different variables. The best thing I could recommend is you find a spot, so you mark it on your GPS, whatever spot it is you want to go to, park right smack bang on top of that spot, put it into neutral. So let your boat in neutral and then just let it drift. Let it drift off the spot, let it drift for a couple of minutes off the spot, and that will leave you a nice clean line on the GPS. And that clean line that you got on the GPS will probably be pretty close to which way the boat is going to drift. So then what I do is I will drive directly on that line, straight up that line over the spot, and keep on that same heading over the top of the spot until I get past it. Then I'll drop my anchor, let the anchor go down, and then slowly but surely feed it back line until your boat comes backwards, 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 and then you end up over the top of the spot where you want to be. Sometimes it's a bit of trial error, sometimes it can take a couple of shots to get it right, but if you practice it enough, the best thing is to go past the spot by quite a bit, so you've got plenty of room to give that scope and let that rope, let that rope out, and then slowly but surely drop yourself back, and until you get close to where the spot is that you wanted to fish. Anyway, I hope this video has been helpful. If you like our stuff, stay tuned and I'll see everyone in the next episode. Thanks for watching.